Thank you, Chan, for that introduction and for the invite to take part in another Metals Investor Forum. And thanks to all of you for stopping by here to hear about the Labrador gold story. It's one that really started about 2 years ago right here at PDAC. And I think I should be able to show you that we've come quite a long way in those last 2 years. This is a disclaimer. I will be making some forward-looking statements, so bear that in mind. And as Chan alluded to, this part of Newfoundland right now is really in the heart of a new gold camp, and that gold camp was really kicked off by the discovery made by Newfound Gold back in 2019 and announced in January of 2020. And we really like Newfoundland and Labrador. I've been involved in exploration in Labrador for probably 4 years now, and including the 2 there in Newfoundland. And we have a really good team, and I think you'll see what we've managed to do over the last 2 years is a testament to that. We've generated and drilled four targets, and we've hit significant gold in every one of those targets. So I think so far so good. We're about halfway through a 100,000 meter drilling program, and that is fully funded with about $25 million in cash that we have right now. A little bit about the share structure. We have a market cap of about 65 million, and issued and outstanding shares about 160 million, and fully diluted about just over 200 million. Largest shareholder is Eric Sprott. Eric has been a big supporter of all companies involved in Newfoundland, including Labrador Gold. And you can see some of the institutions there: Palisades Gold Corp, our neighbors to the south, Newfound Gold, and Crestcat Capital are all major shareholders. So this is really where it started 2 years ago. Newfound Gold's property, or the northernmost part of it, is shown there in the mustard yellow, and our Kingsway property is shown in the blue. The most important thing to notice here, and I'm going to talk about this a lot because it's very important in terms of the gold mineralization, is that APPLETON fault zone. And you can see just in this cartoon that the Keats zone and the Lotto zone, which are 2 of the occurrences of gold and Newfoundland's ground, lie adjacent to that. And our big vein discovery, which I'll talk about a little more, is also right on that fault zone. And this is just what we've done pretty much over the last 2 years. We couldn't get into the field until about August of 2020 because of the COVID restrictions. And but when we did a lot of really grassroots exploration. We basically setting the stage, and that involved soil sampling, rock sampling, prospecting, mapping, and we even did a little bit of rotary air blast drilling to test a few of the old targets that we'd come up with. The result of that work was the discovery of what we call Big Vein in October of 2020. And that discovery was basically visible gold in a quartz vein boulder that was actually sitting right downslope of a pretty big quartz vein that outcropped. So that's where we decided to start drilling. We did that, started in April of 2021, and we're still drilling that target today. We're expanding it along strike and at depth. We've also generated 3 additional targets, all of which that we've drilled, and have found we found gold in all of them. So going back to that APPLETON fault zone, you can see here it's a busy slide. I don't expect you to follow it all right now. The main thing is that from the boundary with Newfound Gold, that southern boundary, up into where it goes off our license to the north, it's 12 kilometers. 12 kilometer strike length of what is turning out to be quite a prolific fault zone in terms of its gold occurrences. You can see there the different gold anomalies that we have along that fault zone. The main ones to focus on: Golden Glove, right in the south. Big Vein is that target that we've been drilling for a year. Pristine, just slightly north of that, and Midway. Those are the four occurrences, the four targets that we set up and drilled. And these targets are generated from grassroots. There was nothing here when we went onto the property. There was no known occurrences. These are all targets that our team generated and we drilled. And here you can see some of those intercepts that we've had over the last 2 years. Big vein, as I mentioned, has been the biggest one, and we've got some really high grade numbers there. 128 grams a ton over a meter, 44 grams over 4 meters. The most recent one that we come up with is Golden Glove down there in the bottom, and that's about 6 grams over 4 meters, which included 10 grams over 2 meters. So again, generating these targets and drilling them has been very, very exciting, and we think we have a lot more to find along that 12-kilometer strike length. And this is a better summary of what we found. As I mentioned, big vein, we've probably drilled, I would guess, about 25, 30,000 meters of big vein, and I'll show you how that looks in a minute, and some good intersections there. Golden Glove is interesting because it's on the east side of that Appleton Fault Zone. All of the other ones, the Big Vein, Pristine, Midway, are on the west side. And now, if you know anything about Newfoundland and Newfound gold, you'll probably have heard that all of their occurrences are drilled on the east side, and that's why they're getting better grades and longer intercepts. Well, I think our grades are pretty good. We don't have the long intercepts that they've seen yet. But Golden Glove is the first one that we're drilling on the east side of that Appleton Fault. So maybe we'll see something. Maybe we'll see something there. This is what Big Vein looks like. This is a plan map, and you can see right now we've got probably about a 400-meter strike length from the northeast to the southwest. It's still open in both sides. We've just received drill permits to extend our drilling to the northeast and to the southwest. So we'll be starting that. Shortly. A couple of things to note: there are two zones. There's the Big Vein zone, which is the one on the left of the slide, and the HCC zone on the right of the slide. And they are separated by a fault. That fault, we believe, is a splay off that Appleton Fault Zone. So again, that Appleton Fault Zone, we believe, is introducing the gold. And that gold is coming in, and it's coming along these second-order structures and being deposited in areas like this Big Vein. This is a long section through that, and what we see here is we see about 250 meters depth that we've drilled on the HTC zone. That is still open at depth, and it's also open to the northeast. And the Big Vein zone up near the surface is open to the northeast and to the southwest. It's a much shallower, plunging zone that goes down towards the southwest. HCC is almost vertically plunging. This is just an example of the Golden Glove discovery that we made, and this was made by prospecting. So you'll often hear that all the low-hanging fruit in the Western world has been discovered, but it's quite amazing that in Newfoundland you can still discover these things in outcrop by prospecting. So these are just some of the visible gold grains that are shown in the quartz vein there, and some of the results that we got from that, all of them being grab samples. And this is the one that we just announced the drill results from. That's a comparison between Golden Glove and Big Vein, similar grades in both initial samples, and this is a bit more down in the bottom. It kind of shows you what we do. Because structure is so important, we focus a lot of efforts on defining structures and overlaying that with geochemistry, and then following it all up with prospecting. So that's kind of our modus operandi, and I think why we've been successful is doing that basic exploration work to define those drill targets before we actually start drilling. And I think the takeaways, I've said the structures are important. That Appleton Fault Zone, to my mind, is key. We've got probably about another 8 kilometers of that fault zone to test. We've 4 out of 4 to date on our drilling those targets. And I think one of the best things to say is that prospecting still works in Newfoundland. You can still find those quartz vein boulders, quartz veins outcrop with visible gold right at surface. So I think that's it. Thank you very much.